ESL 93, Listening 1, pages 174 to 177. Let's review the vocabulary. Bus, noun, a big type of car that takes many people around a city. Bus. Passenger, someone who travels in a car, bus, etc., but doesn't drive it. Right now, there are not many passengers on airplanes. Subway, train that goes underground, usually in a city. Here is an example of a subway car, underground in New York City. Taxi. Taxi, a car with a driver who you pay to take you somewhere. This is the same in Spanish. Ticket, a small piece of paper that shows that you paid for something. What can you have a ticket for? Well, you can have tickets for a concert or tickets for travel. ¿Cómo se dice boleto? Train, a long, thin type of car that travels on metal tracks and carries people or things. Train, train. Make sure you're pronouncing it with one syllable and the long A sound, train. Be cautious when using travel and trip. Notice that travel is a verb. I am going to travel. I am going to go from one place to another. Trip is something that you take. I'm going to take a trip. When you go to a place for a short time and come back again. It's a thing that you take, so it's a noun. How can you use travel and trip in the same sentence? I am looking forward to my trip where I will travel to Spain. Go ahead and complete 1 through 8 on your own. Again, pay close attention to part of speech. Click pause and then press play to reveal the answers. 1. I'm only going for 2 days. It's a short trip. Again, the article A tells you that this is going to be a noun. It's a short trip. 2. My children take the blank to school every day. The bus. How do we know it's the bus? It stops on our street. I suppose it could be a train, but a bus is the better choice here. The driver is very nice. A person who drives a bus is a driver. A person who drives a train is a conductor. 3. I'm sorry, but there is no public transportation here. I can call a blank to take you to the airport from your hotel. It will cost about $60. Taxi. That is a private form of transportation, not public. The blank is one of the best in the world. It's fast and easy to use. Millions of people use it every day. So let's see, we've already used trip, bus, and taxi. The is an article. The something is one of the best in the world. So we're talking about a noun. The subway. Millions of people use it every day. 5. When I was in Europe, I rode on the blank from city to city. It was a great way to see the countryside and small towns. What mode of transportation allows you to see the countryside? Train. There was a nice blank who gave me his seat because it was the only one free. So there was a nice person would fit here, right? Which one of these words could mean person? A passenger. A passenger is a person. 7. Excuse me, I would like to go to Hanover Station. How much is a one-way ticket, please? 8. In many cities, people blank many miles to work. Now we know that this is going to be a verb because it follows people, a noun. People travel many miles to work. Answer these questions just on your own. What do you know about London? I know that London is one of the biggest cities in Europe. It's located in England in the United Kingdom. 2. How do you think people travel to work and school in London? What modes of transportation have you seen in movies about London? 3. Circle the correct word in each sentence. Excuse me, work on your X sound here. Excuse me. How much is a train ticket to Liverpool? 2. Hi, how was your trip to London? 3. I had a conversation with an interesting blank on the train. An interesting passenger. Passenger. 3 syllables, it's just the first syllable. Passenger. 4. You are going to listen to a man named Steve Miller talk about transportation for London. Before you listen, decide if the types of transportation in the box are private, only for the person who owns it, or public, for everyone to use. Let's start with a bus. Is a bus private for one person, or public, that many people can use it? These are my terrible stick figures. A bus is public. Car. A car is a great private way to travel. You don't have to share your car with anyone else, unless you're an Uber driver. Subway. Public. Many people take the subway. Taxi. Private. Usually you don't have to share a taxi. And train. Public. What types of transportation do you think are in London? Let's practice pronunciation, especially years. Now, I think we talked about this in class. When you have a year, you typically break it into 2 parts, the first 2 numbers and the last 2 numbers. So this number would be 1994, 1238. When it's only 3 numbers like this, you would say 570. 570. The and is optional. You can say 570 or just 570. 2005, 2005, 2017, 2017, or 2017. That's following the 2 numbers, 2 numbers. Look at the years, listen and repeat. Then in exercise 7, listen and write the years down.
1238, 1868, 1923, 1996, 2005, 1435, 1749, 1949, 1953, 2017.
Here are the answers. And remember that the last number in this exercise is different because it has multiple pronunciations. 2017, 2017, and what was the third option? 2017. There are 3 different ways to say that number. A result is a noun, something that happens because something else has happened. For example, if I am driving my car and I hit another car, the result could be that someone gets hurt. On your own, take a look at these photos and describe what you see. The London Underground, the world's oldest subway system. Does this look clean or dirty to you? Does it look busy? Does it look organized? Steve Miller works for Transport for London. What do you think his job includes? What are some of the decisions that he has to make? There are many people who travel in London. This certainly looks like a busy, crowded street. Do you think many of these people are tourists? Many Londoners use an electronic ticket, the Oyster card. I wonder if this is similar to our Metro card in New York City. An electronic gate from the London Underground. This looks very similar to New York City. In fact, the pictures could be interchangeable. We use the same method as London. 8.3. Listen to Steve Miller talk about Transport for London and take notes. Practice taking academic notes here. What is the topic? What is the main idea? What is he mostly talking about? Transport for London. Here, there might be more than one correct answer. So I want you to take some notes. What is Transport for London? Is it a company? Then take notes about people traveling in London. Why do people travel there? What do they do? The London Underground opened. Now this will probably be a number. Because we've listened to years, I'm predicting that they're going to tell us what year the London Underground opened. And then we have Oyster card. Write down anything you hear about the Oyster card next to 5.
Hi. Good morning. Thank you for asking me here today. Okay, so my name's Steve, and I work for Transport for London. Today I'm going to tell you about the work we do and especially tell you about the electronic tickets we use in London. Okay, so what do we do at Transport for London? Well, we take care of travelers in London. This can be people who travel on private transportation or public transportation. 3 million people travel in private cars and taxis, and another 5 million use the bus, trains, and, of course, the famous London Underground, which is the name of the world's oldest subway. So that's a total of around 8 million people.
How old is it?
Sorry, what was that?
How old is the London Underground?
It's more than 150 years old. It opened in 1863.
Thanks.
Sure. So, Transport for London started in 2000, and in 2003, we introduced the Oyster card. It's an electronic ticket system. Before Oyster cards, people had to buy paper tickets. And that was okay when fewer people lived and worked in London. They could buy tickets for one trip, or for a day, or for a month. But there was a problem. It was very slow.
Why? How did people use tickets before?
Each passenger waited to buy a ticket, and then they went to the gate. At the gate, they put the ticket into the machine. Then the gate opened, and then they took their ticket from the machine. Now, this took a long time, and more people started to live and work in London, so we needed a faster ticket system. And this was the Oyster card. You can pay for your trips online and walk through the gates much faster. Now you can also use your credit card. You just tap your card. The result? It's very fast and easy. Many people are using this way.
Here are the notes that I took. In the beginning, Steve tells us that today he will be speaking about Transport for London and what they do. So I wrote Transport for London's purpose. Specifically, he says he will mostly talk about electronic tickets. Transport for London, this is what I put, but you could put something different. I put it takes care of travelers who use public and private transportation. People traveling in London, I wrote the different ways that they travel, by bus, train, and London Underground. The London Underground opened in 1863. The Oyster card opened in 2003, and it is an electronic ticket system. I also wrote that it helps with speed and convenience because Steve was sure to talk about why they developed the Oyster card. Let's look at exercise 12. What 5 forms of transportation does Steve talk about? We heard him mention the London Underground, taxi, bus, train, and private cars. What year did TfL, now what could that be? TfL, let's see. Transport for London, TfL. What year did TfL introduce Oyster cards? Well, I know from my notes that it was 2003. And why did TfL need Oyster cards? Take a look back at my Oyster card section. Can you answer this question? Why were Oyster cards needed? Read and answer the discussion questions on your own. Nice job.